Well, now the IRS says help is on the way and money should be there in a week. Here's Janelle Baluta with more on what you should know.
Millions of others receiving those benefits. He hasn't gotten his $1,400.
Stimulus check would help me get moved in over here.
It's just around the corner, or technically a week away.
Oh, it will feel weight lifted off my shoulders.
They say most Social Security and federal aid recipients should go into their accounts or credited to their Direct Express cards. If you don't get the money electronically, it should come in the mail.
Huge news. The deposit dates have been announced and a new batch of stimulus is coming your way very soon and coming to the people that qualify. So I'll be going over the most important information on how to actually qualify for the stimulus and how to actually get the money that you deserve. Because I know that President Biden said he would do more for the American people. That's what he promised all of us, so I hope he keeps his word this time. The first and second checks of $3 billion of tax revenue started going out to Massachusetts residents last week. But if you didn't get yours, there's no need to worry. About 3 million people will get one of these checks, and to qualify for the refund right now, you must have filed a tax return on or before October of this year. So those individuals receive the refund automatically approximately a month after filing. Not only that, folks, but listen to this. About 3 million people will get one of these refunds, and to qualify for a refund, it's only the second time it happened. Now, since the law passed, the chapter actually requires the Department of Revenue to issue a credit to taxpayers if the total tax revenue exceeds an annual cap that's tied to wage and salary growth. So the money is being returned to eligible taxpayers by the state Department of Revenue in proportion to their personal tax liability. So, for example, everybody, a person who made $50,000 last year and paid the state back around $2,500 could get up to $350 back in your bank. State officials have said that the credits are subject to offsets, including for unpaid tax liability, unpaid child support, and certain other debts. So individuals eligible for a refund will receive it automatically as a check sent through the mail or by direct deposit. The distribution of stimulus and refunds began in the middle of the month. Approximately 500,000, half a million refunds were expected to be distributed during the first week. About 1 million refunds will be distributed again thereafter, and no action is needed to get a refund. Refunds will not go out in a particular predictable order, so if you haven't received yours yet, don't worry. Taxpayers who have already gotten their 2021 tax return and had a tax liability will do so and receive the checks by the middle of the month of next month, December. And retirees who are claiming Social Security benefits got some good news when the SSA announced that benefits will rise again by 8.7%. It's thanks to the Social Security annual cost of living adjustment. The increase will help retirees deal with some of the biggest inflation in more than 40 years, which has significantly increased the cost of living. But the SSA has announced other changes to the Social Security program, including those that are more broadly affecting workers in all age groups. One of those changes has to do with Social Security taxes and is likely to result in these taxes skyrocketing for high-income people. You may have noticed that your paychecks, you need to pay a Social Security tax, which is how the program is funded. The tax rate for Social Security is 6.2%, both for employees and employers. But if you're self-employed, then you end up paying the entire 12% yourself. Each year, the SSA estimates the maximum amount of earnings that workers have to pay, and Social Security taxes on that. The base is derived from a formula each year. Experts have calculated the final wage base for 2023, and it came out to $160,000. That is up from $147,000 this year. It's the largest increase to the wage base in quite some time, which makes sense when you think about inflation depends on Social Security. It's not a win for anybody. It's unlikely Washington will let it get to that point, but Social Security is popular and economically crucial for most Americans. But few in positions of power are trying to actually come up with a fix to actually prevent it from happening. About 2 years ago, this bill already was created. He said, the Senator Bill Cassidy said, it occurred to me that we could address this by creating an investment fund. It would prevent a 24% decrease in benefits. Now, some independent senators like Angus King are already caucusing with Democrats to begin their pitch on this big idea to save Social Security. The pitch goes to prevent and invest $500 billion over 5 years in one of the independent investment funds separate from Social Security. Now, the government actually have to borrow money to pay for scheduled benefits, and the fund will be managed independently for Congress, with the intention of preventing future political interference. Now, Cassidy concedes his plan only partially solves the solvency program. It does not address the tougher questions about raising taxes or the retirement age, but he said at a minimum, It would not raise taxes on seniors or affect anyone close to retirement. Cassidy and his staff have been working with lawmakers to get feedback and make changes as they go. There was a short window where Cassidy thought Biden might engage on Social Security after the midterms, but so far Joe Biden hasn't done anything to announce his plan to help Social Security beneficiaries. But back in April, more than 66 million people took home a benefit check from Social Security. Now 50 million of which were retired workers. Among these retirees, close to 90% relied on a monthly payout to cover some portion of their monthly expenses. Whether you're already retired or have just earned the workforce, surveys consistently show that most Americans will lean on their Social Security payout in some capacity during the golden years. In other words, maximizing what you'll receive from the Social Security program is important. All told, more than half a dozen elements can impact what you bring home monthly or to keep from the benefit checks. As an example, Social Security benefits became taxable above certain income thresholds. Additionally, a dozen states tax and Social Security payouts to some varying degree. But so far, when whittled down to the basics, 4 components are ultimately responsible for determining Social Security. It's your work history and, of course, your retirement age. Folks, we got 10 news about the 4th stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. Now, there's a ton of information that you guys definitely want to know about this. Continue watching. We have a lot of information about this.
Per month. This is, it's never happened before. And look, history's been made here. But it comes alongside the largest drop in unemployment rate in a single year on record.
The Senate in history of the United States has been amazingly and extraordinarily productive. 20 months into the Democratic majority, I just want to take a moment to highlight the many, many accomplishments we have secured in this chamber under Democratic leadership. It's the most in recent memory. The American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, an omnibus package, and many other bills in between. Senate Democrats have worked hard every step of the way to improve the lives of American people, to help those in the middle class stay there, to help those struggling to get into the middle class a little easier to get there. And we will continue to do our work for the American people this week by passing a CR to keep the government open.
Benefits have lost around 40% of their buying power. One of the biggest proposals in the works is an increase in benefits. For people who are ages 80 and older, not only will this help older adults maintain buying power, but it will also provide a boost for retirees who are running low on savings. And while nothing is set in stone, this plan does propose increasing benefits by around 5%. And it's one of Washington's most divisive proposals, as only 53% of Americans, 53% of Republicans are in favor of voting for it. So if the Republicans decide to block this stimulus check, that means we won't be getting any stimulus payment if President Biden can't get